It's time for the Brouhaha Sports Show. Brouhaha Sports with award-winning sports writer Dale McKee and co-host Marshall Wood. Talking sports with the legends of the game and famous sports personalities. Brouhaha! Now to Marshall and Dale with tonight's guest.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Katu. That's a new language I'm inventing, but we won't talk about that right now, but I'll just keep it in English. Welcome to the Brouhaha. Marshall Wood and Dale McKee. Dale, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, Mr. Wood. I am just doing fine.
Okay, you look like you're doing good.
I'm just rushing here and there.
Man, I appreciate it. I know you went through a lot to get here on time, jumping through all kind of hoops, and man, it's amazing, fellas, what a fellow go through to keep an appointment.
I'm just glad there was no highway patrol.
Oh, what's been going on in the world of sports?
I don't know.
Nothing?
Not much. I mean, we've had all these NBA trades, and I saw where the Pittsburgh Steelers got them a defensive back yesterday, but what concerns me about my old Steelers is they hadn't signed T.J. Watts back, and I think they need to. What I'm saying is is this, they already got D.K. Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers. If they don't win this year, I mean, why would they let T.J. not sign him?
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
He may have made somebody mad.
Well, I don't know. So anyway, I'm confused about the Steelers these days.
Let me ask you something. We're gonna change over. I guess I'm the WNBA representative here because that's all I want to talk about these days.
Yeah, okay.
And I know you're not. This is all off the cuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, if he can answer these questions, just know that it's just in him. He just knows them, and that's what we're hoping for. Now, the WNBA, they have an all-star game every year, and they pick two people that pick the teams. Is that the way they do it in the NBA? Because what I read the other day was that, Caitlin Clark was the highest vote getter, so she's a captain, and the second highest vote getter is the captain for the other team. And they get to pick their own teams. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Does the NBA do that?
Yeah, the NBA does that, and the NFL, when they have the Pro Bowl now, they have the Eli Manning team and the Peyton Manning team, and they
don't really play anymore, though, do they?
No, they play flag football, I think. I'm not sure what they play, but what I'm saying is I think the only one that's a legitimate all-star is the Major League Baseball. And they're going to be coming up here in a couple of weeks in Atlanta. The fans vote on them.
Okay. I guess.
Up to a point, and then I think the last few players, I think they narrow it down to maybe 2 players, and people vote on them, and then the manager gets to name the pitchers maybe or something like that. I've really not kept up with it like I used to when I was a kid, and I was concerned about if my favorite player was going to make the All-Star team or not, but he always made it.
Who was it?
Brooks Robinson.
You're a Brooks Robinson fan.
Third baseman, Baltimore. Gotta have Brooks on that All-Star team.
Oh, okay.
All right. So anyway.
Well, you shared a lot of information there with us.
I did.
Yeah, you went above and beyond.
Well, we're going to talk about baseball later here with our interviewer.
Yeah.
So anyway, Major League Baseball is at about that halfway point, and we have a term down here in the South, the dog days of August.
Ooh.
And so they're going to try to get into that next month. So I think I don't know when the trading is, but there'll be a lot of trade of major league players, and teams say, okay, we're not going to win this year. Maybe this guy's not going to be with us anyway next year because his contract, and this and that. Do you know the New York Mets? I don't know how long they've been playing this fella. I'm going to have to look it up during the break. But his name's Bobby Bonilla.
That's his name, been around a while.
Yeah. And I think he quit playing maybe 20, 25 years ago.
What's he doing now?
Well, he sits at home and collects $1.1 million from the New York Mets through 2035.
wonder if he needs any help. I could probably help him out.
Anyway.
I'd sit at home for a lot less than that.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe these contracts. But, I was looking at the NBA contracts the other day. These 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, my God.
What?
They're making as much money as
you?
Is probably the state of Mississippi.
Man.
I mean, they're making gobs of money, And I'm just thinking, and this is just their rookie contract, which only lasts a few years, you know. They got to re-up,
Well, they fixed it where the NFL people couldn't get them giant after the first so many, didn't they?
I don't know how the NFL does it. The only reason I knew anything about the NBA is just because they just had their draft here lately, and some of the players.
So they can pay them whatever they want to pay them.
I guess, but we only got 12 players.
Well,
we're really 12 players. I guess you can pay who you want to, But I don't see how they make money though. I mean, I don't see how the team makes money when you're paying out, let's just say, $200 million in salaries. How do you make money?
How many ticket sales do they?
Well, do you have a sellout every night?
I don't know, but let's just say what's the average stadium size? Say 65, 70,000?
No, in the NBA.
No, I'm talking about the NFL.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm sorry, I changed sports.
Yeah.
So just disregard everything I've said over the last 2
NFL's
minutes.
problem is they've only got 7 or 8 games at home. So, I mean, of course, TV contracts have a lot to do with it.
Say if 50,000 people are in a stadium watching a football game and they pay $100 for a seat, what's that?
$5 million.
That's a game. Of course, that still don't pay. Well, that won't pay somebody's salary.
8 or 9 games is what, 45?
That won't even cover one salary with it.
Oh.
Man, those poor people. How do they get by? Let me ask you something.
Aren't they not for profit?
I guess. Do we have a guest tonight?
We do.
Would you care to share with us who it is?
Oh, yeah. We have an outstanding guest. Will Hodo, who has represented Waynesboro, the city of Waynesboro, his school, his county, and the state of Mississippi. He's done a remarkable job. He's a high character young man, and he has had a wonderful year playing baseball at the University of Alabama.
Okay.
Now his team probably didn't do as well as he wanted in the end, but Will had an outstanding year, and it was a pleasure to get to watch him play in person down in Hattiesburg. But it was also I enjoyed watching him on television. When ESPN had their games on.
Is he done, or has he got another year?
We're going to ask him all those questions.
Okay.
I'm not going to get into that,
Okay.
because baseball is one of those sports that the old saying is baseball tells you when it's time.
Ah.
You don't tell baseball; they tell you. So
Okay.
we're gonna find out what his plans are. But he's a very smart young man.
Yeah.
He's got good parents, and so I'm sure he's got his head on straight going into his future.
Yeah. Well, let's just take a break and let's get on. Let's get to that. That'll be a lot of fun, folks. Just hang on with us. We're going to take a break here from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back after this commercial break with tonight's guest, Mr. Will Hodo. We'll see you after the break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome to the show, Will Hodo. Will, we appreciate you being on the show again, and thank you for taking your valuable time tonight. Will, you had a tremendous year up at the University of Alabama. I imagine you enjoyed it. So why don't you tell us about the team as a whole, and what records y'all, I guess, accomplished this year that you haven't in, and just different things, and some of the great players that you played against and played with.
Yes, sir. As a team, I thought we had a really good year. We had our first 40-win season in about 15, 20 years at the university, and then we went undefeated in the midweek. We were the only team in the country to do that, and so it was highly successful as a team. I hate we couldn't get it done in the postseason, but it was a very successful season, and I know our program is trending in the right direction.
Well, listen, did your team feel a little slighted that they didn't get to host because that they had such a great year? Was that kind of disappointing going into the regionals?
Yes, sir. A little bit disappointing, especially when the 16 seed was somebody that we beat head to head. And but I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, whether you're on your home field or another field, you still got to go play ball. So I mean, it was kind of like a little bitter taste in your mouth for the day it happened. But after that, it was just kind of, well, we got a job to do now.
Well, I had the pleasure. I told the audience before your part of the segment came on that it was a joy to watch you play this year over at Alabama. I watched a lot of ESPN Plus games and also watched the playoff game at Hattiesburg where you happened to take one downtown over there on what they say on 4th or 7th Street, I think it's called over there. I think they play it on 4th Street, the stadium, but there's a street behind it called 7th Street, and that's where all the home runs go on. Is going on 7th Street. But anyway, tell us about your teammates. You had some really great players. You had a couple Mississippi players, didn't you?
Yes, sir. We had a tremendous team this year. Starting out, right there beside me at second base, we had two different guys that were playing beside me that were both seniors, Brennan Norton and Garrett Staten. They both transferred from schools in Alabama, and they both battled through some injuries all year, but they still both had great years. And then, obviously, at shortstop, we had Justin LeBron. And, I mean, he kind of speaks for himself. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country, so there's not a whole lot I need to say about him. He's just a special player. And then at third base, we had Jason Torres, Miami transfer, and he had a great year, kind of scuffled through the middle, but all in all, I mean, when he was at the plate, you could definitely tell that everybody in our dugout thought that he was going to hit something out of the park. And then our left fielder, Cade Snell, he was a first-team All-SEC guy this year. I think he hit like 360 with 10 home runs. So that also speaks for itself. He's one of the best hitters in the country. Never struck out. And then our center fielder, Richie Bonamalo, he's going to wind up getting picked high in the draft here soon. And just a guy from JUCO. He's got a great story and had a great year, was locked down in center field, and hit 4-hole for us a lot of the year. And then in right field, Bryce Fowler, I mean, that guy can play some ball. He went to Pearl River. He's from Madison, Mississippi, went to Germantown. And just getting to play with all those guys was amazing. And just some guys that I know I'll be friends with for the rest of my life. So, I mean, it was special this year.
Well, we've interviewed you on the show before, and we probably asked this question, but we may have some new listeners tonight. But how big of adjustment did it take for you to go from Wayne Academy to the University of Alabama? Were you position set before you went there? I know you played around in high school, a little shortstop, pitched, first base, but what did they have in mind when you first arrived in Tuscaloosa?
Yes, sir. Like you said, I played a little bit of shortstop, third base, first base in high school, kind of all around. And going up there, my freshman year, my primary position was third base, and I mixed in a little bit in the outfield. And then my sophomore year, I didn't play any third base. It was about 50-50 first base and outfield because we had a first baseman who was playing his fifth year. So, I mean, I wasn't about to step in my first year playing first base and start over him. So, I mean, I was working there, also working the outfield. I think I started 8 to 10 games in left field my sophomore year. And then after our first baseman graduated, going into my junior year, we brought some guys in who possibly could play first base, and then I won that battle at first base. So I started all but one game at first my junior year, and then going into my senior year after starting, I actually had another guy brought in who was a first and third baseman, and won that battle again in the fall, and got to start every game at first base my senior year. So, I mean, it's kind of a wild ride position-wise, because going into every year, I really didn't know where I was going to play. I wasn't even sure if I was going to play first base going into my senior year after starting every game there my junior year. So, I mean, it was pretty crazy. I thought I might play some outfield this year, but our lineup kind of fell into place and had me at first. So, I mean, that was exciting for me.
Well, yeah, you had some pretty dramatic games this year. I remember one of them was, I think it was this year, was the Texas A&M game. Why don't you tell us what happened in that? Why don't you tell us what happened in that game?
Yes, sir. So we had a good series out there. We swept them. The Saturday game out there, we were. Well, I'll just skip to the good part for me. But we were in tie game, top of the ninth, and I want to say we had bases loaded with one out, which is right where you want to be because you can hit a pop fly in the outfield and get a run in. And the guy in front of me struck out, I think, and I remember. Like, he's walking off the field, I'm walking on the field to hit, and he just kind of looks me in the eye and gives me a nod. It's kind of like the I believe in you, go pick me up right here type deal. And I think it was the first pitch I saw, I hit a home run and put us up 6-2 in the top of the ninth. So, I mean, that was a pretty special moment. That was definitely one of the highlights of my year and probably my baseball career right there.
Wow.
Yeah, Grand Slam in College Station. Yeah, that'll go. But maybe you'll work there one day at College Station and you can tell them all about it. But anyway, well, listen. Why did you decide on Alabama? Was there other offers, or did you just decide that best suited you, or were they the first one that asked you for a date?
Yes, sir. So they actually were the first school that offered me besides junior colleges. So I was committed to Pearl River before I ever talked to a Division I school. And I got offered by Alabama in July of 2020, right after COVID. And then about a week later, after they offered me, Mississippi State offered me. And so those are really the only two offers I had. And I had a lot of trust with the coaches at Alabama. And at that time at Mississippi State, I think it was Coach Lamonis' first year. And they were coming off, or no, they won the national championship the year after that, the 2021 season. And I just kind of remember, I don't know, I didn't feel like there was a lot of trust between me and Lamonis. He was kind of like rushing me into a decision, that kind of thing. And the coaches at Alabama they were just a lot more patient with me. And I just felt like I could trust them a lot more, which the coaches that I've had the past 2 years was a different staff than the one that recruited me. So, I mean, it was a little weird as far as coaching goes throughout my 4 years there. But both coaching staffs I had at Alabama, they were great to me and just gave me a lot of chances to fail and to grow, and it definitely made a difference.
My last question before Marshall, I'll let him ask a couple questions tonight. I usually don't, Will, because
I can't even push the button, man.
So anyway, if you graduated in May from the university, what are your plans going forward?
So right now, I'm actually working up here at the fireworks stand in front of Pizza Inn, so I'll give us a shout-out real quick. Me and Walker Hall up here selling fireworks, so if y'all need any fireworks for the 4th, y'all come on by, get some from us. We're out here in front of Pizza Inn. But right now I'm up here. I'm kind of waiting around to see what happens in the draft here in a few weeks. And if I get picked up by a team, I'll probably go play. And if not, I'm going to pursue a career in medical sales. But I'm not quite sure where I'll be, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Okay. All right, Marshall?
Yeah. One quick question. here, Will. Of all the things that you've done and the places you've seen throughout your collegiate career, is there anything, any place or experience that particularly stands the tallest in your memory over these past few years? Made a big impression on you?
I'm not sure.
I threw you a curve, man. I thought you could hit a curve. Come on, man.
No, I hear you. I'm not sure if there's like one specific thing, but I know probably the one thing that I'll take from my college baseball career that I'll have with me for the rest of my life is probably just the relationships with teammates, relationships with coaches that I've built up over the past 4 years. Just some of the guys that I've met that I know will be lifelong friends. I'd say that's probably the best thing that comes out of playing college sports for anybody.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, those friendships, I'm sure I've never walk the walk that you're walking, but I tell you what, I know those friendships will last your lifetime, and what's more important than that? Listen, Will, we appreciate you. You make us Wayne County proud, brother. We're thankful for you and your family here, and for you taking time to be with us. We wish you all the best in everything you do, and maybe we'll get to do this again one time in the future, but for right now, we're going to take a break to hear from one of our sponsors, and Dale and I will be back with tonight's final segment of the Brouhaha right after this commercial break.
Phillips Building Supply in Laurel, your hometown building supply store since 1954. We are locally owned and pride ourselves on helping our customers find exactly what they need. From foundations to roofs to doors and windows, Phillips has it. For tools, hardware, lumber, and plywood, visit Phillips Building Supply.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of the Brouhaha tonight. And I tell you what, oh, Will, what a guy. Man, he's out there selling firecrackers right now.
Yeah, we didn't mention it on the show, during the interview there, but I think the boy was like on the president's list up
He
there.
probably was. He probably
It was majoring in some kind of science. Do you know how hard that is to play college baseball?
I would not know how hard that is.
No, I'm just saying you're playing at most of the time at 4 or 5 games a week.
That's insane.
And practice, and then you're keeping up with your books, and then you go on all these weekend trips, all to these different places where it's probably hard to get any time to study.
I don't know how they do it.
No. They've got good tutors, I'm sure.
Well, of course.
They travel with the team, help them out a little bit.
Well, Hodo probably took a pretty good brain in there with him to start with.
Yeah.
We're giving you a plug on that one, Will.
Yeah, He's a good kid.
Don't that make you proud, though, to be from your kids like from your community come and grow up and do those kind of things?
Yeah, we really.
You don't see that every day.
Well, no, we get a lot of bad publicity sometime in our county, in our city, and it's a pleasure to talk to some young man like this.
Yes, sir. Well, we're thankful for him. We got a little time here, Dale, and we'll talk a little bit about some things and some of the goofy stuff that I pull up. But let's see what we got here. I saw something this morning. Wins by Mississippi programs. This is from Mississippi Sports. It says wins for each D1 college baseball program since 2000. And these are Mississippi teams. And the teams that they're listed, I guess we're looking at Jackson State, Mississippi State, Alcorn, Mississippi Valley, Ole Miss, and Southern Miss. So wins by the programs. Who do you think among those four has those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 schools has the most wins? D1 college baseball program, most wins since 2000. Who would you think?
D1 now.
D1, that's right.
I would probably say Southern Miss because of their 40-win seasons here late.
They've had a run of those things, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, you were right, Dale, and I knew you would be. They have 999. That's according to Mississippi Sports. This is off the internet, so we go with this. Number 2, who would you suppose would be in there at number 2?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Dale McKee here now. Come on, Dale. I know you got it. I'm not asking for the number.
I would say Ole Miss.
You got them again, son. You're batting 1,000, brother. They had 981. Who's third?
The Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs come in at 925. All righty. Now let's see. We got Jackson State, Alcorn, Mississippi Valley.
I think it's going to be Jackson State 4, Alcorn 5, and Valley 6.
Did you look at this? You cheated. You looked at my phone.
No, but I just keep up with it during the season.
You just keep up with it. Is that what you do?
Well, no, I mean I'm just saying.
Not only do you just keep up with it, Dale, you remember it. You not got anything written down. You know, you start to make me mad.
It's just a lucky guess. It was just a lucky guess.
Oh, lucky guess.
Yeah, but now I had a hard time choosing between Ole Miss and State for second and third.
Yeah.
But I just thought that Ole Miss early in the 2000s had some great teams.
Yeah.
They didn't go to the World Series, but they had some great teams. And I just remembered, unfortunately, I know Mississippi Valley didn't win a lot of games.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and Alcorn doesn't win a lot of games. So, anyway, it was just lucky guess.
Well, you did good. You did good.
Lucky guess.
Lucky guess. Well, I've heard somebody say one time, I'd rather be lucky than good anytime. How do you feel about that? Would you rather be lucky or good?
I'd rather be lucky.
Man, you sounded that, when the way you said that, it looked like you got something in mind.
Well, you know, being consistently good is hard.
Yeah.
You have to be lucky.
It's nothing to be lucky, is it?
Listen,
except lucky.
Listen, it's just like that Arkansas LSU game in the College World Series. You don't think LSU was lucky that guy dropped the ball?
Oh, lucky.
Or the shortstop threw it to third instead of second and first?
There's a movie line that comes to mind, but I cannot say it. But when we go off, remind me and I'll tell you that joke. But you know what, Dale? We're about out of time.
Well,
yeah, thank you for being with us today.
Dang.
Yeah, we're glad you were here. The listening people out there were glad you were here today, and I am too.
I'm glad I could make a stop in for a few minutes.
Yes, sir, buddy.
And entertain you.
Well, you always do. We appreciate Will Hodo too, and him taking time to chat with us a little bit. And he said, you know, he's down there selling fireworks. You want to go talk to a real live D1 big time baseball player? That'd be a place to go there and talk.
Maybe, you know, there's always what we call late bloomers, and I'm not saying Will was. Will was a great high school player.
Yes, sir.
But at Alabama, those first couple years, he was just, he was a bloomer. Mm-hmm. And he was waiting to bloom.
And he did.
And he did this year. Well, you know, that's the kind of guy that that's going to only get better.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to do what it takes, you know. I even told my granddaughter this here a while back, about a month ago. She's big into gymnastics, and she's going to a new gym now, so it's kind of a different little comfort zone for her. And I just told her, I said, well, now you do what the coaches tell you to do, and you'll be good.
There you go.
But if you'll do your homework, you'll be great.
Listen at you go. Y'all heard that out there. Y'all can write that down too. But as for now, we're out of time. I want to thank you for being with us tonight and joining us and listening in to our conversations, and particularly being a part of the Hodo interview tonight. We thank you for that. I want to remind you that you can keep up with us on Facebook at the Brouhaha, and our YouTube channel, the Brouhaha. All the programs are cataloged there where you can listen to them on demand. But for now, it's time to say, and y'all get ready because it's coming. It's time to say, and you know what it is. It's time to say goodbye, Dale.
Goodbye, Dale.
We'll see you next week for more of the Brouhaha. Get us out of here, Jamie.
You've been listening to the Brouhaha with Del McKee and Marshall Wood. Heard Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on WABO. For more of the Brouhaha, follow us during the week on Facebook and WABO.